Hi, I'm Ben and we're back with the last episode in this season of Our People, Our Stories, where we find out what makes South Canterbury not just an incredible place to visit, but an amazing place to live, work and build a business. So let's find out what makes this place so special. From thriving local businesses to hidden community gems, I'm sitting down with the people who make this region tick. Entrepreneurs, creatives, and everyday legends who call South Canterbury home. Now, you may be able to guess who we're interviewing by where I'm sitting and what I'm wearing, but today we're interviewing the Mayor of the Timaru District, Nigel Bowen. Nigel, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview.
My pleasure.
It's the last one in this series, in season 2 of Our People, Our Stories. And I think what better person to interview on this last one than the Mayor, which is very exciting. We're here in the chambers. So yeah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm privileged to be a part of it.
So I think it'd be really cool to understand, a lot of people know you as the Mayor, and a lot of people know you from your business ventures, but it'd be awesome to hear a little bit about, your upbringing and who you were as a person that led you to the place where you are today.
Yeah, certainly. So born and bred in Timaru, went through Glenetti and then Roncalli College, and played a lot of sport as a kid. Football was my sport, which I really, really enjoyed. Went to varsity, and then my first job out of varsity was working for Lion, and that sort of crafted, my direction, if you like, a little bit. And worked for Lion Breweries in Timaru, and then in Christchurch, and then following that, probably a lot of people know me for the Spates Ale House, but we had that opportunity to do that business. Probably it came outside of working for Lion in the liquor industry. So I think what was great about working for Lion at the time, sort of the tagline was about making the world a more sociable place, and you could certainly embrace that. But most of my life has, and I reflect on it quite often, and I feel like my life has just been hospitality. So whether it's working with Lion and having a customer-centric approach, whether it's working in the Spates Ale House or street food, or whether it's working with members of the public, it's hospitality. Most of what you do is listening.
Yeah, definitely, and what a massive journey. So when did you first buy in or start working at Spates, and how long has that been, and then when did that develop from there? Yeah,
so my wife and I came back to Timaru from Christchurch. I think are we 21 years?
Oh, wow.
Ago, roughly, and we said we'd do 5 years. 21 years, we're still in business. It's funny how you think your path might take a certain direction, and you choose a different path. So, but we're happy with what we've achieved. I think probably the thing with business that we're most proud of is hospitality is hard. So to be in a business like that for 21 years is something in itself. But we've had some wonderful people that have worked for us and some connections, and it's pretty neat to see where they've gone off to and what they've become. So it's a real privilege to be a part of so many people's lives in that regard.
Do you think that some of the challenges and wins that you've had with business had helped prepare you to become the Mayor of South Canterbury?
Yeah, very much so. I think you sort of get that dogged determination. If I remember, for me, probably the biggest challenge in business was the financial crisis, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And for hospitality, we are at the point when economy is not doing well. People are saving their pennies. High interest rates, all those sorts of things, higher unemployment. People don't go out, or they choose to go out less. And so we've still got staff that need to be paid, and so I think it's around driving those. You learn how to drive efficiencies, how to make things work really lean, and I think those learnings you bring through to whatever future roles, because I think when you understand the pressure of a business and when it's really, really tough, and most people don't understand that, but as a business owner, when you've got those responsibilities, you've got to pay the wages, you've got to pay the bills. So it's not all roses. There's a lot of hard work, and and I remember looking back, some of the hours that were put in, to make that business successful are phenomenal. But looking back, I wouldn't change it.
So now that you're the mayor, you've been here a couple of terms. You have said that this may be your last term. Is that because you feel like you're coming to the end of what you're wanting to do, or you've achieved what you want to achieve, or? Yeah,
it's a combination. I'm a firm believer that good governance should have a time frame, and in these sorts of roles, I think 3 to 4 terms is probably about optimal. And so, look, you never say never. But my theory is I've just been elected, within the last sort of 6 months. We're focusing on what's ahead of us, not an election in 3 years' time. But I'm not driven around that. I've got things to go back to this. I guess I don't need this job, but I do this job because I want to, and I see the opportunity, for the district. And it's a really interesting time in local government. Probably my entire time in local government has actually been, and I think I say this after every Christmas. I said, what a fascinating year last year was, and then the same, and then the challenges present themselves again, and it's quite interesting. And we had 6 sort of years of water reform, and we're sort of getting to the end of that, and now we've got more local government reform, and there's so many opportunities in that. So it gets you quite excited around what opportunities there are to make efficiencies and drive better outcomes for our community. Yeah, always so many changes, and I guess that just goes to show, and especially in business as well, I suppose, everything is just always moving, right? So there's always a new challenge or a new change or something you've got to learn, and So in this last term, is there anything specific that you're like, we really want to nail this? Or just an overarching message of what you're wanting to achieve? Yeah, I think what hangs over us, and it's a good learning for people coming into these governance roles, and it goes to the government's conversation at the moment around, must-haves and nice-to-haves. And it's quite nice that they've defined that, and interesting enough, 90% of what we do is a must-have. But it's around, you come in as a new councillor, and it's around learning what is important to people. And I would call myself an infrastructure mayor. I like the fact that we're setting our economy up for success into the future. So I like the fact that we've got resiliency in our water networks, and we're if I could choose a project that I'm most excited about, it's investment into Claremont Reservoir and membrane filtration. Most people don't get excited about that. They'd rather debate the theatre or Christmas lights. But that's what's important to people, and so we've got to remember that while we do all these other things that are equally important. So there's that foundation stuff, which I think is all that core infrastructure, and then there's the, some of the other things that are important to community. Yeah, and I find that so fascinating, and I know you and I have talked a little bit previously about this, but there's that whole idea of, there's the stuff that's in the public eye that people do talk about a lot, like the theatre and the stadium and all these other projects that we're doing. But then there are all these things that you don't see, like, water quality, until it comes out of the tap. But, there's these things that you don't see that we have to invest in. And it's good to hear that you're obviously wanting to try and balance both of those things well, right? Yeah. Going back to your last answer, I really liked what you said about, you don't need this job, but you're doing this because you're passionate about South Canterbury and because you're wanting to, you enjoy this. What are some of the things that you enjoy about South Canterbury? In all reality, it comes down to, the people. My job is, very varied in the fact that I get to talk to you, I get to talk to, school kids, read them books, I get to deal with, some of the top business people. I get to see in my role, which I think is a real privilege, I get to see the very best of the district and South Canterbury, and I get to see the very worst of it. But I think this district, and had I've got a lot of friends across the country, and as a mayor, you are the proudest person in the country for your district, and your district is better than every other district. But you do start to, when you get over that, you start to break it down and look and think about the the things and the strengths that we do have, and we are quite unique. And a lot of people know this. It's that central location. It's all those things. But a lot of mayors would die for the sort of economy that we have. We've got such a broad range of businesses, rural manufacturing. I look back to COVID when 70+% of people in this area were essential workers of some description, which gives you a real economic base. So we've got some amazing businesses, from biotech through to earth moving. I mean, you look at the earth moving businesses, two really massive businesses in town that are doing work, all across the South Island. It's just phenomenal, and it's a great example of, you can be in Timaru, be really successful, and you know that because you've interviewed some of these people. So you can do business from anywhere, and we're just so lucky. What a amazing place to do business, where you can dip your toe in the sand in the sea, and then an hour later you can dip your toe in the snow. So it's not so bad.
No. Yeah, definitely. What do you reckon would be maybe one or two of like the key highlight moments that you've had in your time as mayor? Like if you could pinpoint a decision that was made, or an event, or something that's happened. Yeah, what are those key highlights for you?
Yeah, look, I think the way we went around the gangs was really cool. I'm really proud of that. It's never one person. I think that's the learning from some of those moments. It's never one person. It's a community coming together. Business supporting, everyone knowing, hey, this is the right thing to do. Let's go ahead and do that, and probably also the responses to some of the tragedies. As mayor, I recall, looking back, that significant car accident where we, lost 5 young people. In my role, I get rung up and I'm needing to respond, and you don't necessarily know directly the people involved, but you're having to respond from a community point of view, and that's your job, and you need to do that in this role. But I think, and what I'm most proud of, is the way the community's responded, and I've had a lot of feedback from other mayors and reporters on stories and things like that have just been, sort of overwhelmed by how our community's responded, whether it's, the death of, young people, whether it's, the response to Alliance closing. I think the community comes together and boxes on. So it's a real privilege to be the leader, but it's a community, and we're very lucky, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. And it's a common theme that I've sort of heard laced through the conversations that I've already had. This idea that South Canterbury as a community is really caring. There is a connectedness, that maybe you don't get in another big centre or in other countries, because everyone, does know someone else in the community. Everyone does care about the other people in the community, and you can almost take it for granted. I know I can, because I've been brought up here, but they don't have that in other places, where everyone does rally together so quickly and so heavily to help support others.
Yeah, very much so. And I think we're about the right size, and areas always grow. We're talking reform at the moment with central government, but if I look back to where we've come from, in '89, we were 4 districts. We've come together, we've made that work really well. We are, I think we've got those community roots that, everyone thinks of. Again, you look at a business like a Timaru Transport, they've been so successful, but they're community focused, and I think that's the key thing with Timaru, is people care about their roots. That means a lot to them, which is pretty cool, and I'm sure that happens in other places. Just happens better in Timaru in South Canterbury.
Yeah, go back to what you said.
No bias.
This is the best.
No bias to it.
So what are some of the key values that you live your life by, as you've been brought up and through business, and as the mayor, like what are some of the key values that you have as a person?
Yeah, probably the key one for me is integrity. and we can have, and this comes to good governance. I think you can have a difference in opinions with people around the table, and you need to be have an open mind to different points of view. But it's how you hold yourself, and I think across your values overall, and I think that's really important to me. If you want to, tell me the truth. Don't. Let's be upfront with each other, and that's the challenge within politics. You don't always get people don't always tell you the truth. Let's just be upfront, and we can get things achieved a lot quicker.
So integrity is a big part. Has it ever been challenging? You've just talked about, sometimes people don't tell the truth, or sometimes people will, say things in a different way. Is that hard for you, being so in the public eye and, being so, I guess everyone can see all the things that you do, essentially, because you're the face of the district. Has that ever been difficult for you?
Oh yeah, it has at an earlier point in time, and I think you've got to be careful that it's a good lesson early on in these sorts of roles. Don't get too tied into the comments and social media and what have you. And I laugh about that sort of stuff now, but at a point in time, it did. Get my back up. But I laugh about it now, and my response normally is to put my phone number. In 6 years, no one has ever rung me. So no one actually wants to have a conversation about the issue. So I get a lot of people, call me direct and come in and see me, but a lot of those people. So I think it's a good lesson in the fact that actually majority of people are doing some good things and marching on. And there's some others that probably need to lift their head up every now and again.
Yeah, and maybe those people that are quite vocal on maybe social media, or they might not actually want to find a solution. They might just want to.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And look, and I think you touched on a key thing. One of my beliefs is, every problem is, it's just a wee challenge that doesn't yet have a solution. But if we can work together, we'll find one.
Yeah.
Some are more challenging than others, but let's not stress too much about it. We will get there if we work together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, although you're really busy being the mayor and doing all these other things, with the little free time that you do get, what sort of stuff do you like doing around the region?
So my day normally starts about sort of 6:30 walking the dogs.
Yeah.
So 2 dogs about one.
Yeah.
Roughly. So
wow.
Yeah. So they've got a bit of energy, and so that starts the day, and then somewhere during the day they need another walk. But look, my free time we like to get out into South Canterbury with these roles. Fortunately, unfortunately, it does take up a lot of time, and I think people need to be committed to the hours. I think I'm lucky in the fact that I'm used to coming from hospitality, which was sort of 7 days a week, and this is no different. But yeah, look, we like to spend family time in the winter, do skiing as a family. But as far as work, it does take up some commitment for sure.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of a double-barrel question.
Yeah.
First one is, what is your vision for South Canterbury?
Yeah.
And the second is, what do you think the future of South Canterbury will be?
Yeah, sure. So vision for South Canterbury does align somewhat, not that I want to be political in this regard, but it's around having the opportunity for the region to grow. That's going to come through a lot of different aspects. It's going to come through a lot of legislation change, which is fantastic, and some of that stuff's happening at the moment. And then it's going to come down to councils, businesses being match fit, if you like, so they can respond in a timely manner to keep those things going. It's going to require investment. It's going to require people understanding that this is a place that we can do business. We want to do business, and we want it to work well for you. I think the reality of the conversation that we've had, and we've highlighted on some of the businesses, just some of the very many that really do well. It's a great place where you can do all of that. So for me, it's around again, we've got cruise ships in currently over that summer period. People come in and they just love walking around the CBD. If you come for a day, you want to stay. I think that's probably it in a nutshell. And so many people that you talk to, they go, oh wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that day, don't you? So yeah, and there again, I think it extends. Ultimately, we've got a life cycle, and at a point in time, that stops. And so I think if you look at the values of the family and those sorts of things, I think it's really important that we create a place that, and I think we've got that here. We're very lucky. There's so many churches, community groups. We're such a wonderful place to bring up family, and I think if we can do all of that, we're not doing so bad.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, we're nearing the end of our interview, and I've really appreciated the time that we've had. I've got two final questions to finish this interview. The first is, what does the Chamber of Commerce do within South Canterbury that benefits businesses?
Yeah, so with my business and within council, I've had a long relationship with the Chamber. One of the key things is bringing people together is absolutely fantastic. But I think they do a great job around connection in that regard, as far as courses and providing. I think it's really hard as a new business, and so it's really important to be able to get that support. And I think that's one of the key things that they do really well. People have always been approachable. Over that entire time that of business that I've 20 odd years, people have always been approachable. Easy to work with, and they can connect you. If they don't have the people there, they can connect you with the right people, whether it's mentorship programs, all those sorts of things. So yeah, invaluable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And my final question for this interview, for the last episode of this season, is what's one thing that you wish someone had told you at the beginning of your leadership journey?
I don't know what was missing, but I think I was very lucky in the fact that I've always had an open mind. I've always been confident that I would, I guess I've been lucky in that I've had self-confidence that I would do well in life. And so I've had that self-belief. But I think that key one is just having that open mind to opportunity and open mind to other people's opinions. And I had some good people very early in life that I think have sort of mentored me, and I've pulled that from different aspects, whether it's sport, whether it's business. Most people you talk to, you can pull a wee gem out. So yeah, I think it's just to have that open mind.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Nigel. Really appreciate you doing this interview, and let's look forward to see what South Canterbury becomes. Yeah, no, it's an exciting year ahead for us. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into it. Thank you. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Cheers. Brilliant. All right.